Surprised because Ron said he thinks they're going to leave the sled alone and let the distance stand.
Well, Richard, the reason behind that is there's a lot of new at this particular setup. Number one, we're new at this level. A lot of tuning is going to have to be done. Ron himself mentioned he's hunting for some horsepower. The fact that the sled weight's going to stay the same, but it attacks the drivers differently. Also in the Headley interview, you notice he said the sled will let you get a run, then it's going to nail you. If you don't get the ground speed on the first 20 or 30 feet, it's going to hurt you. So what he's saying there is the track looks like it might go away. I don't think that's the case. I think some of these Allisons will come back and beat some of these automobile engines a little bit later.
All right, coming out next is Robert Hutton. He is out of Bristol, Virginia. It's the clodhopper, and he runs Chevrolet engines aboard that tractor.
You're looking at about 3,000 horsepower. Each supercharged engine is generating around 1,500 horsepower. Now he missed his weight. It's tied on him real quick, and that's going to hurt him, Richard.
You saw the front end come up midway down the track. He shuts down at 183.26, 183.26 for Robert Hutton and the Clodhopper 2 out of Bristol, Virginia.
Remember, Richard, we're going off a 190 track, so he was within 10 feet of a full pull, so the bite looks like it's still going to stay in the track this evening.
And our next modified tractor belongs to Richard Rockefeller. He is all the way from the great state of New York. He calls it the Policy Peddler. I don't know where he got that name, but it is our first look at an Allison aircraft engine.
He sells insurance, Richard.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Unique engine combination. We were talking about the Allison, so versatile. Now, this is a turbocharged version of the Allison engine.
Now the distance to beat a full pull. Well, really, he can't beat the distance. He can make a full pull, which would be 190 feet. That would put him in a pull-off. Already our first puller tonight, Ron Headley, sits there. Here goes Rockefeller.
Oh, Rockefeller working that right brake. Look at there, Richard trying to steal a horsepower away. A beautiful driving job in hook left. And he worked it back with a right foot. You can watch him all the way through.
Distance of 189.58. Richard Rockefeller misses a full pull by less than a foot. There's a little guy that would probably love to own a modified tractor one day. Richard Rockefeller not with a full pull. Let's go down trackside and find out why.
That had to be a trick run for you. The weight was up, and you were really working that right brake for everything it was worth.
Yeah, we got on the brake really hard down through there, and I pulled my RPMs down real bad. I was afraid we were going to get out of bounds on it, but if I knew we didn't get a full pull, we were going to do it pretty good.
Tell you what, from this end, that was a beautiful run. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
A beautiful run, but less than a foot shy of a full pull. Is coming out next is a former champion out of Keota, Iowa. Name of his tractor is Lurch. Jerry Fornash. He runs that Allison aircraft engine, Army.
Well, you know, it's kind of interesting. Jerry, who followed the circuit for quite a few years with his lovely wife, they take the winter months and they come out of the cold country up north and they follow and chase these national points. Lurch, it's got an interesting name. Remember the old television program a few years ago where the monster characters?
Addams Family.
There you go. That's where the name came from.
I think that's where some of my family came from, too. But never mind. We have got one full pull already tonight. Ron Headley, we're going to try to make it two. Let's see if Fornash can do it.
Right hand, look at that right hand all the way on the throttle, wide open, Richard. He's going for the best shot he can get. It's looking good. He's there. He is there.
A full pull puts it on the beach, Army.
What a run. Now, notice the front of the engine. What's happening here, we've been talking about being at sea level. You notice the flames coming out. That's the jetting they have to do in the engines. He'll back up. We'll be ready to go on with more action in just a minute, Richard.
More modified tractors coming your way from Hampton, Virginia on Power Tracks in a moment. And welcome back to Power Tracks. We're in Hampton, Virginia. We're all ready, folks. If you're just joining us, you missed a show. We have had two full pulls by these modified tractors, and another great puller is on his way out, talking about Wayne Sullivan out of Warsaw, Kentucky, and he's going to be running the Rodeck engines. But, boy, what a shot we've had tonight so far.
It's been a surprising track, and I tell you why. The building makes everybody leave from the same place. What I mean by that is, you notice the sled he's backing up to? The building is only like 12 feet wide. That sled has to go back in the same spot. That is why on this track, the starting 20 or 30 feet are so critical. Now, Sullivan, you were talking about him. He's from a history. He's a third generation of pullers. The Sullivan family out of Warsaw, Kentucky. Wayne Sullivan is not there. Normally, he screams the engine. Not the run he was looking for at all, Richard Leek.
Horsepower just never came up. 170.09 for Wayne Sullivan. It looked like he also might have missed his weight, Army.
Wayne Sullivan, you fellas are notorious for running a little weight on the front, but it looked like you had a whole lot of weight up there this evening. It never even looked like it wanted to pull the front wheels up.
No, it would have pulled the front wheels up, Army, if it had run good. I've been working on the motors. It's a different motor up front, and I'm a long way from home, and the air is so much different here, I just ain't got the fuel right.
So Wayne Sullivan's got to pack it up and go home. Our next puller is going to be Wayne Cook. Wayne out of Russellville, Kentucky. This is one of 2 tractors he's got here. This is the Weekend Joy. It's an Allison aircraft engine. His other tractor also has an Allison aircraft engine, but they are different, as Army explains.
Well, if you've ever been to a tractor pull and you think it kind of sounds a little bit like your local airport, this could be why. One of the most versatile engines ever designed by man was designed to power aircraft, the P-51 Mustang to be exact. In the mid-1940s, the military designed this engine, the Allison 12-cylinder, 1,712 cubic inch engine to power the fighter aircraft. Since then, this engine has been very, very versatile in all fields of motorsports. It holds the world's record for unlimited hydroplane racing, but it's found a new home now, and that's in the sport of professional pulling. One of the reasons so many drivers use the Allison engine is because of the versatility. You can run an injected version of it, carbureted version of it, turbocharged version, also a supercharged version. The Allison aircraft engine will make the horsepower. The trick is, how do you get that power to the ground?
Army, that presents an interesting question as we get ready to see Wayne Cook pull. Do you think it's an advantage to have the aircraft engine or to run an automotive-type V8 engine?
There's 2 different schools on that. The automotive engine requires a lot of RPM. The Allison aircraft engine we're looking at right now, Cook, it's a torque engine, a lot of blow-in horsepower, and this is more or less a muscle engine, and Cook is not getting the muscle out of it that he needs. We said he had 2 tractors. I guarantee you the next tractor come out, he'll make some changes with, Richard.
126.29, a disappointing distance for Wayne Cook out of Russellville, Kentucky. That is going to put him nowhere up close to the top 5. Our next puller coming out, quite a story behind this guy, Wheeler Rittinger. He is out of Circleville, Ohio. He drives a tractor he has named the Outcast 2. The crowd anxious for him to come out as he is going to be running twin Donovan engines.
Well, the Donovan engine, this is a unique vehicle, and I'll tell you why. The Donovan engine was built for drag racing. It'll make the horsepower, but I want you to notice how the engine's set on a tractor. The front engine sets to the left, the rear engine sets to the right. Now, get what I'm getting ready to tell you. The front engine or the left engine drives the left wheel. The right engine or the rear engine drives the right wheel. Richard, each wheel is driven independently. He's the only puller we know that does this.
Which brings up an interesting question. What would happen if one of the engines would blow?
He's going to go left or he's going to go right. That's the only thing that can happen.
Right now, he is going all the way down the track. A green run and another full pull.
That's what
Wheeler
happens.
Rittinger. Oh.
That's what happens if both engines do right.
Wheeler Rittinger has made it 3 full pulls tonight. Let's go trackside. Army's got him.
Wheeler looked like an awfully good run, but you were fighting that rascal every foot of the way.
It was a rough ride. I mean, it was really tough to get her out.
Think you can hang on to win this thing? Jerry Fornash is out here. Ron Hanley's out. You're the 3rd one to go out.
I'm going to try.
There you see the replay of that full pull by Wheeler Rittinger. As you heard Army said, he joins 2 others in a pull-off that's coming up later. There's some of our little people here enjoying the action. It's Bob Chickering out of Bloomfield, Iowa, a long way from home in the inch pincher. And this is an injected Allison aircraft engine, Army.
Basic same engine you saw a moment ago with Cook. However, the difference is it's injected where Cook was carbureted. Now, Bob Chickering gets a lot more RPM out of his engine than most of the fellas do with the Allison aircraft engine. It's got a whole different theory. You notice the wheel speed. That's the same kind of wheel speed normally an automobile engine would have. He hooked real bad to the right. Richard, that's going to cost him on the other end of the track.
No, it's not, Army. He powered through it.
He muscled that Allison, just making all kind of super horsepower, Richard Lee.
Give us 4 full pulls for the night, but you know, you brought out an interesting point, Army. Most of these guys, even with the full pulls, are pulling to the right of the track.
How come everybody's hooking and coming to the right?
I don't know. It seems like it's pulling everybody to the right awful bad.
The fact that you all have to start basically at the same place, you're not able to move the sled back and forth. Is that affecting the run?
You're getting a rut. That's what gets you started one way or the other there.
Well, moving on in this competition, this next guy, you know, Army, over the last few months, I've gotten to know him very well. John Carlton out of Little Plymouth, Virginia. If I could ever have another father, which I don't, but if I ever could have another one, I'd want John to be my dad. He is a super nice guy and a great veteran puller.
You know, he's close to home, and I know what you mean about the caliber of individual he is, but keep in mind, close to home, wants a win, watch him. Carlton is loaded for bear. Look at the ground speed, Carlton. Richard, look, he zooms it out. He puts it right in the end of the track.
He would have taken it right outside the building if the sand pile hadn't have stopped him. John Carlton makes it 5 full pulls.
John, you came through there like a fast-moving freight. Yes, right.